you screaming for? Good boy. You just stay there if you want. Make you stop meowing, won't it? Hey guys, Kaz here, and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap up. I know it's getting into January. I still have some end of the year stuff to do, so I hope you're still interested in that because it is coming. So just going to kick straight into the wrap up. First of all, in December I read Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This book I absolutely loved. It is a Grease retelling, a gay Grease retelling, and it was just really cute but also sad, and it made me cry and it made me happy, feel all the warm fuzzies but also the sad non-fuzzies. It is about a boy who meets another boy and they have a little summer fling, and then he goes to a new school because he's moved with his parents to be closer to his aunt who is dealing with cancer, so they can help with their family and look after their young children. And then at this new school, the boy that he was with in summer is there, and yeah, it's just so cute. And as you can tell by the illness bit I just talked about, it's sad as well. And I loved all the characters, and excuse me, don't get up there. And I talked better. Go and follow me on Goodreads because I actually write reviews and I just can't even right now. But yeah, this book was really good. After that I read Anything Could Happen by Will Walton. This book was, without me even realising when I picked it up, it's actually set around Christmas and the New Year, so perfect for December. And it's basically about this boy who is in love with his best friend who is straight, but his best friend does have two dads, so that was a nice thing to see because you don't really see the parents very often. No! You can't get up there, there's no space. It's full of books. He likes his best friend's straight, and it's just a story that takes place over a little amount of time, talking about that, trying to come to terms with it. This also has an illness sort of thing going on in the story, another cancer story, and I was like, why do I keep picking these cancer stories up without realising it? But this one is more, it's not as sad and harrowing as Only Mostly Devastated. It's more like most families have to deal with this in their life at some point, so it just felt more like something that everybody deals with rather than it being this big horrifically sad thing. And yeah, I like the fact this book was about a gay guy pining for his best friend, because anybody that likes anybody has probably pined for somebody that won't like them back at some point. And it's nice and refreshing for that to be the storyline rather than it be a secret and he was gay too and now they're together, because that's what normally happens. But it was nice to see just him trying to deal with the fact he loves his best friend but he needs to not be in love with his best friend. So yeah, I liked it, it was different. Let me just pick up them books that he kicked off when he was trying to get on my shelves. There we go. After that I read Scott Pilgrim Volume 3 by Brian Lee O'Malley. It's been a hot minute since I read the second one, so the first half of this book I was like, what the crap is going on? But also I feel like even if I had read it recently I would still be, what the crap is going on? Because this is just a really silly, over-the-top series that just, it's about, I'm sure you all know what it's about, but it's about this guy trying to defeat all the evil exes of this girl that he wants to go with. And yeah, it's just silly and over the top, and the ex in here has vegan powers, and I just thought that was so funny. And there's just certain bits in this book that I thought was really, really funny. At one point someone punches someone so hard that they punch the highlights out of their hair, and that's just, it's so wacky and silly, but it's just really fun. And here's what Scott Pilgrim looks like if you hadn't seen it already. After that I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This is the first book in a middle grade series about a girl who can see ghosts because she had this near-death experience a year ago. And what I really enjoyed about this book is, first of all, it's set in Scotland, in Edinburgh, and you don't really see that portrayed in books very often. And it just really made me want to go to Edinburgh and explore all these places they were talking about, because it sounds so interesting and fun and cool and really good. So yeah, that's the thing I want to do. I also really enjoy the fact that it's like a contained story, and the way it's told is, it could be, I mean, guys, you've heard of Supernatural, right? And how it had Monster of the Week. Each week they fight another monster and the story is wrapped up, but there's a bit of an overarching arc. I feel like this could be that. I feel like it could have a different monster of the week but a different ghost of the week for each book, and it could just go on forever. It's not like this series is tied down to a specific arc. It just feels like it could just come out and you can enjoy them individually, you can enjoy them as a group. And yeah, that's what I really enjoyed about this book. It was just a contained story, but it was really enjoyable, it was really interesting. I liked Cassidy and her best ghost pal Jacob. It was really fun, and this new character that was brought in. I say new character, it's the first book in a series. All of the characters are new really, aren't they? But yeah, it was just a really fun time, and I have the next book, so hopefully I'll read it soon. After that I read Heartbreak Boys by Simon James Green. I love Simon James Green. If you haven't been here, there you go. If you have been here, you probably know that already. This book was just hilarious. I feel like books in general are not funny. Maybe it's just me because I always lean towards the harrowing ones, but I cry loads at books, but I don't laugh loads at books. And Simon James Green, his books make me laugh, and this one made me laugh. And they're also just cute and really wholesome, but also awkward. The characters always have awkward situations. It just feels so real and silly, but great and fun. And this book going in, I had no idea what it was about. I just knew it was Simon James Green and I wanted to read it. But this book is about two characters who both have boyfriends and they both split up with them. So to get back at their boyfriends, they go on a little trip around England, and they're trying to portray this trip as being really fun and really amazing, and, you know, make an Instagram account and show, oh, we're having the time of our lives, we don't need you guys. But obviously shenanigans ensue and lots of stuff just goes wrong, and it's really great and it's just really good fun. Simon James Green's books are just really good fun, and if you haven't read him already, then definitely do, because they're just so enjoyable and set in England. You don't see that very often. I like it when I see books set in England. After that I read Darius the Great Deserves Better by Adi Coram. Spoiler alert, this is not as good as Darius the Great. It's not okay. Just getting out there straight away off the bat, it's not as good. So many of the things that made that one amazing in my eyes just didn't happen in here. Obviously we don't have the culture aspect, it's back in America. Not a lot of Persian culture is in this book, so you don't see that as much. The friendship between Darius and Sorab isn't a main focus in this book because he's back over there, Darius is back over here, so that feels like it's missing a little bit. You know, there's just all these different things, but I did enjoy the book. I think I gave it 4 stars. It definitely was a grower. The first half of the book it felt more like a 3 stars because I wasn't really getting what I wanted to get out of this. There's basically, in this book, you start off and Darius is already in a relationship with this guy called Landon, and I felt like Landon had no personality. He wasn't shown to us enough. I just didn't care about their relationship. So when he was having second thoughts, when Landon was not acting the best, I was like, I'm not invested in this at all because you've not shown me any reason why he likes Landon in the first place. Just was a bit meh. What I did really like about this story is the whole Chip side of things. So if you've read the first book, Chip is in that book and then he's in this book and they're becoming more friends, and I really liked his character progression, and I really liked the ending and how it was done, and it wasn't so black and white how most books would do it. I don't want to say too much because it would be spoilers, but I feel like most books go in a certain way and this book tried to steer off that a little bit, and I really enjoyed that. And this probably makes no sense if you've not read it, but yeah, maybe read my review and look at the spoilers if you want, or if you've read it you know what I mean. But yeah, not as good as the first book. I did enjoy it, especially towards the end. I liked the characterization. I also liked the family aspect, which is a thing that I liked from the first book. But in here, just so many YA contemporaries who don't really care or focus on the family, so I really enjoy that Darius's family is an important aspect in here. In the first book we saw one side of his grandparents, in this book we see the other side of his grandparents, and I really liked the dynamic and the difference between them two. Because as someone who had grandparents that were like more stricter and more funner, one of the other, it was like that in here as well, and I feel like it's very real. Also his family are having financial struggles because of having to go over to Iran and that costing a lot, so obviously they have to work more. And then his little sister has some sort of arc as well. I don't want to go into too much because it's just like I'll tell you everything, but yeah, everybody's dealing with their own stuff and I enjoyed that. So yeah, not as good as the first book, but not horrifically disappointing, which is good. Around Christmas time I read 'Twas a Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. This is just a little book full of Adam Kay's musings about working in a hospital over Christmases, over 7 Christmases in fact. I've not read This Is Going to Hurt yet, so that's something to look forward to. And if this book is anything to go by, I am definitely looking forward to that one, because I've heard people say that one's even better than this, and this was a fun time. It just talks about working in the NHS and what that means, and he talks about stuff in a fun, light-hearted way. There's also the serious side of things, because obviously if you're in a hospital, something's happening. And yeah, it's just really interesting to read. They're really small, and because it's written in a diary form, everything's really easy to digest, so you can read a day or a week or something, and then it doesn't feel like you have to carry on for ages. This one I was picking up, putting down, and yeah, it was a good time. I'm finally on that Adam K hype that everybody else started a few years ago. Oh, do you want more attention, my love? Does you want more attention, my love? Okay. Let me pick these up. And then the last two things I read, which isn't technically true because I read this one before I read Twas a Night Shift before Christmas, but I thought I'd put them together because one is a little prequel novella and one is the actual book, and that is Killians Dead and Mayday by Josie Jeffrey. So I'll send these books to review by Josie, and it is a vampire detective kind of shtick. This, I like the concept. I give it 3 stars. It wasn't bad at all, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking more for the vampire side of things, the supernatural side of things, but it's very much like a police detective book, but they're vampires rather than they're vampires and they're detecting things, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm not massively into police detective books, so just because it's vampires attached to it, it didn't really make me more interested. But for people that do like that sort of genre, they'll probably really enjoy this. What I did like about this is all the little sort of vampire lore in here. It's got its own lore, it's got its own mythology. They're called silvers rather than vampires, but they are vampires. And whenever that sort of thing came up, I found it really interesting and I enjoyed it. But for me personally, there was just too much of the detective side of things that felt like it could have been in any bog standard human detective things. So it wasn't as exciting or as supernaturally. Also, there's like a, well, it's not a love triangle. It is a love triangle. I don't know why I just said it's not a love triangle. But our main character, Jack, in here, she likes this girl who is one of the what are they called? I've got corona in my head now. Coroner. Yeah, she looks at dead bodies and that. She likes her, and then there's also this bad boy guy that she doesn't like, Killian, and there's this whole love triangle thing, and I just really didn't enjoy it at all. Jack was just such a wishy-washy character. I didn't like it. The fact that this girl that she was pining after, she'd never even been on a date with her. She'd known her for a few days, and it was like this big, oh no, but I really like this person, I really like this person. I'm like, do you really like that person? You've known them for 5 minutes. Why are you feeling guilty about liking somebody else, or why do you feel like you're doing them dirty when you've literally never even been on a date before? It just felt really weird. But it also kind of made sense, because in this one, Jack has a one-night stand with the girl, and then that's pretty much the reason that she gets turned into a vampire. So she's, you know, she latches onto people very quickly. But yeah, it was interesting enough. The ending in the beginning I liked, but the middle bit with the too much bog standard detective work and the very unnecessary, just annoying love triangle that took over the story as well. It was like, in the middle bit there was more about the, oh, do I like this person, but do I like that person, but I hate that person, but do I really like them, more than the actual, let's solve a murder. So I wasn't really keen on that. Give it 3 stars. It was alright. Bisexual vampire detective person corruption, it was alright. And there we go, that was everything I read in December. Let me know down below if any sound interesting to you. If you've read any, say some words down below, I'll reply. I didn't even do a sponsorship bit in this video because this knobhead's been on my shoulder for most of it, so you just have to deal with him. And yeah, if this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.